Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Fanvil. Today's host is Tommy Lee, and he is their Vice President of Sales for North America, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box so that Tommy can answer them at the end of today's presentation. Tommy, thank you so much for being with us. You're an excellent friend of Microcom, and we're so very happy to have you with us today. Please go ahead and take it on over.
I appreciate the great introduction, Julie. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time this morning. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday and hope we're all safe. What I have on the agenda today is really a brief overview of not only talking a bit about what our current products are, but I'm going to spend the majority of this time to really provide an initial reveal of all of our new technologies that we're targeting for the first half of 2024. So we've kind of put this together, and it's not meant to go deep into detail. So I'm going to go through these slides just to help those who aren't familiar with Fanvil, to kind of give them a quick overview of the company, and then a quick spectrum of the products that we're selling today, and then spend the majority of time even talking about the technologies that will be available from our own brand. So with that said, let me go ahead and move forward. As you can see right here, here's my contact information of tommy.lee@fanvil.com. Any questions that you have, feel free to contact Julie or myself so we can go ahead and move forward. So I don't want to repeat this, just the agenda of what I stated before. And let's just talk about the introduction for those who are not familiar with Fanvil. As you know, Fanvil's been around for 21 years as of today, and we're a big, large manufacturer. And one of the things that you might see that we're coming out with is really we've developed a sub-brand called Linkvil. And you're wondering, what in the world is Linkvil? That really is a sub-brand because we're widening our endpoint offerings to provide wireless solutions as outlined here. And because these wireless solutions exist and there's such a big plethora of them, we decided to put together a sub-brand of Fanvil called Linkvil to only talk about wireless access. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that technology moving forward in this thing. So when you see that, you can tell Fanvil to Linkvil is just like, Bronco is to Ford, etc. It's really kind of the same subcategory or the sub brand. I mentioned that we're a large manufacturer of all of these products. All of our products are developed in China, and these are the different outlines of the different factories and offices that we have throughout. And we know that we have sensitivity for many projects that require manufacturing outside of China, and for that we actually have a factory that's located in Vietnam, which provides that sort of case, and we work those manufacturing on a case-by-case basis. So any application that you may have in mind that requires in or out or any particular restrictions, feel free to give Julie or myself a call, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through that. Obviously here, we're a global marketing business. I handle this territory right here, and we are a channel-based, and we market our products through many distributors throughout the world, of which Microcom is one of them. And we go ahead and we actually sell all of our products. They really are our hosting warehouses for many of our solutions so that you can get them, very quickly just based on contacting our channel partners. With that stated, we're actually outlining a lot of different shows that we participated back in 2023 as well as 2024, and all of these different brands, and that's how we go ahead and get our brand name out, just to kind of give you the idea of the different types of solutions that we bring out to the marketplace. Now, because we actually focus in on endpoints, it's really, really critical for us to be very compatible with many of the base PBX providers that are out there providing sort of the control solution. So this is just a partial list, and this is growing every day as we go ahead and talk, and of the people that we actually are compatible with, that you can go ahead and move forward and assure full compatibility moving forward. That stated, let me just go a quick overview about where our products stand as of today. As of today, you could look at our products as really divided into three separate pillars. One of them is the Fanvil SIP security industry products, which really contain a whole host of items. These are items that really many of the security industry talks into, meaning that we talk about intercoms, access control, ways to view people in access control panel type phones, and as well as our PA products are all lumped into this one column that we have here for SIP security industry products. Our second big pillar is really the SIP IP phones. And when you look at the SIP IP phones, it really spans across several different horizons, ranging from business applications all the way through products that we've developed specifically for the hospitality market. And that's what we have for the hospitality phones. And then we talk about Linkvil. This is sort of a peek into some of the things that we've gotten into. In Linkvil, we have wireless Wi-Fi products, including some walkie-talkie type products, or what we call sub-G type of walkie-talkie communications, where we actually bridge SIP and being able to talk with that. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the future. When you blow up all of these products, this is what you have as of today. So as of today, our top line here, talking about our V series and our XU series, this is our real entire line that we use to market into North America. Granted, we actually have SKUs that go far deeper into these things, but with regard to North America, these are more of the hotter items that we have talking about it. And then when we talk about our X series phones, this is really our X series phones, and the most popular one we have here is the X210, which really describes a phone that's been specifically designed to take care of the front desk. And as you know, many of our phones don't have extender modules, but we've developed a phone that really combines the two, that offers great value to the integrator, as well as the end customer, having all of the pieces fit on one firmware model and really having more buttons than one could ever think about in the front desk. Okay. Having seen this large thing, then we could talk a little bit about specific of our latest V series. Again, my intent is not to go down into the really low-level details. One of the new products that we developed in the V series, which I talked about in the previous webinars, is the fact that we've actually released a V63. One of the things that we got when we initially released the V62 is this was just a monochrome screen, and we said that was our baseline model. But we heard back from many of our resellers, is there a way to convert the monochrome screen into a color screen with the same capabilities? And that's why the new V63 came out. So now this really describes our entire spectrum of the V series models. This, of course, is our XU series. Again, this is one of our core main product lines. No changes here. We're going to continue supporting the XU series, as well as the X models as well that I talked about. You know, a soft copy of this presentation will be available to Julie. So if you want a PDF version, I'll send her a PDF version of this. So if you want a copy of this, feel free to contact her or myself, and I'll be more than happy to send you a copy. But this just gives you a quick list of some of the phones that are available today that we've been selling in the past few years, but they've been quite successful. We have no intentions on replacing this, but enhancing this model. Again, this is our hospitality phone. One of our new introductions is an H1 phone, which really provides a lower price point on our hospitality models, but for the many years we've been selling the H2U coupled with the H3 and the H5s, depending on what you want in the hospitality phones. And again, this is meant to be as a high-level overview to kind of see the technologies that we're coming in, and all the things that I've mentioned about are really the things that we've been marketing from a phone perspective. Now let's get into the security industry products. And when you get into the security industry products, we talk about intercoms. And when you have intercoms, these are real simple one button or perhaps two button type of technologies that we have with video, without video, one button, two button, that things that are meant to comply with IP65 durability standards. And we also have units that do the same for commercial applications where you might need not an outdoor location, as well as a smaller real estate requirement for indoor users. And we have the same thing with and without video too, by the way. So all of these things are meant for a commercial indoor environment, and we have things for the outdoor environment as well. Same with our hospitality environment. This is a brand new product. I'll talk a little bit more about the future, designed for really the healthcare market, where we have items that we marked for bedside type of intercoms that you could talk to the front desk, as well as those that have an extender module that you might have something that's attached to the wall, but we'll have a cord that enables the person to have this attached to a reclining bed, that it gives that person quick access to call the front desk or what have you. And this is all working based on SIP as well as Wi-Fi control. When we talk about access control, this is all about our i6 series, which I've talked about many times in our previous conversations. And one of the new products we have here is our ceiling speaker. This is really a ceiling speaker which we've taken an analog speaker, really retrofitted, and talks about a two-way. And this is something that is an IP speaker that we're bringing into the marketplace. Many of the things I talked about, the indoor stations, as we know, in the past history, past generation, many people put phones on the wall, and what we found out is that what people really want to see are the people that are outside the gate or who wants to enter in. And we've designed indoor stations to give people that capability of seeing who's out there without necessarily taking up all the real estate of a large screen phone, so that you're given the button so that once the person at the gate or at the front dock is more friendly, they could just push a button and come right in. Obviously, all of these security products can be managed by either a touchscreen or a button case where you can go ahead and manage all the interfaces through a touchscreen phone. That being said, I'm not going to go over these things. These are the real intercoms that we have with and without video, with a quick outline of the things that we have to do. The idea here is that we have both video and non-video support depending on what your specific needs are. And these are our most popular models. This is more of a blow-up review of our i10 series used for indoor. So if you actually have an indoor requirement where you want to talk from one room to another, whether it be a large house or perhaps indoor suite within an office, calling from the front desk into a specific office, we have quick one-key access so that people don't have to figure out what extension they have to dial. Again, access points, same thing. I'm providing this to kind of give you a quick differentiation between it. And if you want to copy this, feel free to contact Julie or myself for a PDF version of this. This is all the existing ones that we've been selling over the past year in 2023, where we actually have Linux-based type of models, where we have a very simple interface with quick speed dials to provide access for those that you want. And we have Android-based type of indoor stations to give you Android in case you want a specific Android interface to run whatever Android application you want to run. These are the things that we're providing with today to provide you with quick access to see who's out the door and being able to give you quick access moving forward. Having said that, one of our large solutions that we provide to the market are our PA gateway solutions. We have both a PA2 as well as PA3. Obviously, the major difference between the PA3 and PA2 is if your application does not involve a relay and is audio only, I would highly suggest you explore the PA3. Both of these items do really similar items, but this one is more specific in being able to have a relay control where you want to open a gate or perhaps open a door based on some remote access. And then you can go ahead and compare these items and interface it with perhaps an IP speaker at the other end, because one of the great ideas about these two gateways is that you can multicast a specific announcement throughout a multicast system and use this IP speaker gateway to listen in on that particular multicast IP address and be able to make whatever school announcements to one office or the entire school, depending on how you want to go ahead and do that. And this has become a very popular solution in the SIP environment. Just a quick blow up of the PA3 of the different type of things that you can interface with. This was not meant to be a technical presentation, but it kind of gives you an outline of all the different connections. And these are all available under the QIF website and available on our website under support. So if you go to support downloads, you will actually see a breakout of this and even more information on our quick information guide forms for your particular reference moving forward. Not only for the PA3, but also for the PA2 as well. The PA2 actually contains a relay outlined right here that allow you to control a switch, a door access, or perhaps even a camera input if you want to put in an IP camera and inject video onto video only type of things. The application of this thing is really phenomenal. I could almost spend an hour talking about this alone, but this is meant to kind of give you a real high level view about where we're going. And all of these things, if you want a quick one interface module. All the items that I talked about can be viewed on our control panels on the A320 to the A320i. The difference is that the new phone that we're introducing, the A320i, has a camera. Here, giving you bi-directional view if you have a two-way video requirement. But the A32i, which we're selling today for the last year, is really just one way. And obviously, we've developed a push button as well, because again, push button and touch screen is really a personal item, and we don't necessarily we spend a lot of time making sure that everybody's subjective judgment is satisfied with either a push button or a touch screen phone. Now let's get into more of our updated requirements. We've introduced the W661 Wi-Fi phone over the last year, and this was an industrial product that enabled to be fully waterproof. What we've introduced recently is our W610, which is more intended for commercial use. This is great with a much lower cost application for people who want to have wireless connectivity in a Wi-Fi environment, so that they can go ahead and leave their desk and connect on the Wi-Fi system throughout their house, or in the office, or in the back warehouse. This W712 is a gateway that enables anybody with a SIP phone, whether it be a wireless communication here, talking to people with walkie-talkies in the future, and I'll have a future slide that's going to talk a little bit more about that moving forward. Here's our little breakout of some of the feature sets I talked about on our Wi-Fi phone. This really gives you full portable capability of being able to bring your desk phone so that you can walk around your home, your remote office, or at the actual office and warehouse, so that you can go ahead and gain phone calls wherever you can. This is our W712, and this is a very interesting product that's capturing a lot of attention. This is the one product that enables anybody that has a SIP phone to talk to somebody with a walkie-talkie. I'm sure everybody notices when they walk by somebody in patrol talking on their walkie-talkie, you need a walkie-talkie to speak within that environment. What this gateway does is enable anybody with a SIP phone, as well as the right key code, to talk directly with the person's security. And as you note, everybody really want to have hot access to security. So this takes one step away from being able to reach for a walkie-talkie if you don't have access, and gives really anybody with a SIP phone full access to someone with a walkie-talkie, namely somebody in security. Having said that, all of this is manageable through a device management interface, and that we have moving forward. And as well, we also have a provisioning service that enables people that want redirection capabilities, that have Wi-Fi capabilities on their own. Now let's talk about more of our roadmap products. This is something I want to talk about moving forward. We actually have items that we expanded upon our Android systems that have different dimensions and screens for our indoor product. And one of the new items I wanted to talk about is our big screen phone. As we know, the growth in elderly care has really grown over the last several years, and we developed a phone with very large buttons to give them the capability of being able to dial buttons and be able to see their emergency keys, or perhaps their loved ones and family and friends, on much larger keys, so that we have made a special accommodations for them. All of these things can be accommodated with the i320 with the dual face camera. With the i6, we've actually taken the i6 camera access code and decided to expand and add a scrollable interface, as well as one adding facial recognition. These are the items where we're going to, and it's captured a lot of attention for people who want those type of capabilities moving forward. Again, the highlights of the indoor stations, I don't want to have this here for your reference, but we're coming out with different indoor stations that give you different dimensions and capabilities to suit your specific needs, whether you wanted a small screen or a much larger screen, as well as expanding our i6 series to include a scrollable, because in fact, when you want to access a multi-dwelling unit, you might want to look up somebody's last name, or you want to have facial recognition that adds to that scroll, and giving people the capability of being able to have facial recognition to enter, as well as having key access, as well as keyboard access as well moving forward. Now, some of the things that we want to introduce moving forward, you're going to be hearing a lot of announcements of our CA400. This is a portable device that we're going to have that introduces a portable Wi-Fi video conferencing environment. In the future, we're going to come out with the CA600, but we want to focus our attention on the CA400. The real key point here is being able to access something that really requires no education in the SIP market, but be able to provide you with a compelling SIP address moving forward. A little bit more closer view is that this provides you wireless access. Very often, people who've done presentations in the past, you no longer have to move to the front of the room in order to present your screen. You can move this side along the table and be able to present your presentation and have a share screen without moving over at a very cost competitive environment, which most people cannot meet. And I challenge you to go ahead and explore this further. You can give me or Julia a call if you want to dig deeper in this. We're going to begin showing this as a very compelling space if you're looking for a video conferencing application. Obviously, we have a video dock because mobile applications have become very popular. And this is great if people are working from a remote office so that you could put your remote phone and actually have a Bluetooth handset coupled with a speaker so that you can amplify the capabilities of your mobile phone while charging it using a wireless charger so that you can use your mobile phone as a main desk unit moving forward rather than hearing something that's just laying on the desk phone, which is what the majority of people working remotely do. Here's a new item that we have in place, which is a 2-wire PoE switch. Talk about not replacing the existing wiring, which is a challenge that we have. We've actually developed a switch that entertains the existence of the 2 wires that already exist in the walls that support analog. And not only will we develop the switch, but we'll also develop phones in the background that will handle a 2-wire switch. And this is a very compelling thing, so you can actually upgrade and support VoIP using the existing wires on both the endpoint at the customer site as well as the switch at the closet site. So this is something that we'll do to really support that environment. Here's a classic case in the PSTN environment where you can change with the PoE switch. You have to basically update the wires for Cat5, whereas using a 2-wire solution with 2-wire, you use the existing wiring, but now replacing a PN8 now to specific phones that have specifically take advantage of 2 wires. We're going to dig a little bit more into that, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But that really describes a look ahead in the type of solutions that we're going to come out with. Sorry, I kind of went over a little bit on the half hour that I want to allocate myself, and I want to thank everybody for your time. And I want to pass the baton back to Julie for any additional questions.
Tommy, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We all enjoyed it, I am sure. And I do have questions for you. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Here we go. Can you provide information on the ease of installation for the X series phones?
Absolutely. The X series phones, as I mentioned at the presentation, we work plenty with many of the existing PBXs so that many of the PBXs that you could be using, we're already on many of their auto deployments. So if you happen to log on to one of those PBX manufacturers, you could just look down, look at our model name, select it, and it'll automatically load the configuration file on those X series phones, as well as our V series phones as well, moving forward.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Next question here for you. How are firmware updates and security patches handled to ensure ongoing protection?
Okay. In that case, there are really 2 routes. If you're already set up for auto deployment, or as well, if you're also set up, if you don't have auto deployment set up at the PBX, you could also use our device management system that I talked about. And you can use that or the deployment system to update whatever firmware or patches that are available. And you can replace your latest, golden version of firmware with the latest version that contain those patches. Schedule a rollout that you want to roll it out like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning so that when the client comes into work the next day, all of their phones will be updated. And as they come in, they will all be upgraded to the next version, or you can do it in real time depending on how you want to deploy that.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Got another question here for you. What customization options are available for the user interface on these IP phones?
That ranges anywhere. There are really two tiers for that. We've worked with many a cloud-based or on-prem based PBX manufacturers. Some even provide a graphical user interface that actually has buttons. So you can say, select this button, you want to configure it for this specific extension. Others, work with a specific template that you can really look down as a line item command and say, I want, function button 3 to do that. And they put whatever extension that they want to there. As well, you could also have templates that are available not only on our desk phones, but on our wireless phones. You can actually design in a template that have predefined extensions on it that you could just roll out and replace the configuration on each of these phones, depending on how you want to do it. And you can do it from one central location if you have it set up properly.
Excellent. Thank you, Tommy. Got another one here for you. The question is, can you provide information on how Fanvil SIP security phones integrate with other security systems?
Yeah, I mean, one of the great news about the Fanvil solution is that we stick with open standards. One of the open standards that we stay with is SIP, which is Standard Initiation Protocol. That really is the standard by which many, many different cloud-based manufacturers talk to. So in terms of compatibility, depending on what IP switch, if your IP switch happens to be SIP compatible, it'll likely work with Fanvil right off the bat. I'll give you a perfect example. When you walk into a Home Depot to buy a new toaster or something like that, you don't think about how to plug it into a wall because it just works. In many cases, find out what switch you're working with, look at what type of peripherals that they have qualified, or if it's SIP and they don't have any list of qualification, you can guarantee that if you work with us, that is totally SIP compatible, it should be able to work with any of the specific cloud manufacturers I've listed there and many others that are not listed as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Tommy, couple more questions. Here we go.
Yep.
What resource does Fanvil provide to educate users and administrators about security best practices?
Oh, there are quite a few. Actually, when you go into our fanvil.com website and you go on the support and the products, there's a subtitle there that contains videos. And many of those videos contain a how-to function. In other words, like, oh, here it is. Some may list a quick information guide that tells you how to quickly set it up. As well, we also publish a lot of papers on YouTube as well that provide a general instruction on how to get used to, our device management system, how to really configure the phones, many of the how-to things. And when you go into those things, you may want to look at those videos that are available. I don't like reading user manuals myself personally, so I tend to go to videos, and we actually have a library that are published. And if you don't find something you like, feel free to give me a call. I'll be more than happy to guide you to any resources that may be available so that you can get spun up either in our products or any SIP products that are available in the marketplace.
Thank you, Tommy. And that's excellent information. We love how there's so many different resources to find, really, really detailed, deep, or even highly technical information by either calling you, looking things up. Maybe you've got a community forum. That stuff we all like a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Last question here for you, Tommy. How does Fanvil address vulnerabilities discovered post-product release?
Okay. In terms of vulnerabilities, we strive our best to go ahead and address all items. Of course, every now and then you might have bugs that come up. Sometimes the bugs often stem from people not necessarily updating to the latest firmware when they go ahead and deploy our phones. Very similar to when you buy a laptop computer, everybody likes to upgrade to the latest version. Same thing with our solutions, whether it's a phone, intercom, or access point. Once you get it, it's a great idea to update all the latest. But if you even have problems after upgrading to the latest firmware, we actually have local SE support that you can contact. He's actually located on East Coast time here in North America. So there's actual real-time support. You can also contact me because I've gone through this process very often. I might be able to guide you through a great way to isolate the problem. But if I can't solve it, then I pass it on to the SE so that there is real-time support from Fanvil to help any of those that are, struggling out in the field that might, overcome a simple or a complex problem.
Tommy, thank you very much for all of that and for the ease of being able to contact you or myself if they want anything. And then again, contacting Fanvil yourself or anybody else really is extremely helpful, especially for maybe installers, technical support people, that sort of thing. So thank you for answering all of those questions for us today. And thank you for everyone attending today's webinar. And if anyone does have any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, please remember this webinar has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so it could be viewed again and we can remember everything you said, instill inside of us all of your advice, all of the answers to your questions. Tommy, thank you again, and we will see you first quarter 2024.
You got it. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Tommy. Everybody have a fantastic day.